We've got bats, birds, and witches, poison flowers, and all that and more here today on the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review. But first, let's roll that intro. Got it? Yeah! Yes, indeedy, everyone. Yes, indeedy, everyone. This is the officially unofficial Geek Channel Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review, where we talk about the comics that we read and we let you know what we're our preferences are, what we like, what we don't like, what all that stuff. But we also do it with the guys that there might be some spoilers that come out in the middle of telling you about them. I'm ready because honestly, I had a pretty good week with the comics. I mean, I didn't actually have very many that I had any like real issues with, so that's pretty cool, right? But I've read the ones I've read. We've got let's see here, we have got six to talk about. Um, and let's go ahead. Let's get a move on here. While I'm here, let me remind you all that the CBC Awards are still in the middle of voting, and your girl here got nominated for Best Unknown Channel. So go out there and vote for me. The information will be down in the description. Go out and vote for me for Best Unknown Channel so that I can be unknown no more. Yes, sirree. For some reason, I'm unknown, and let's change that. Let's change that, guys. It has actually had a positive influence on my channel. I have had people come find my channel primarily because they were looking into the CBC awards and was like, I have actually had people subscribe to me because they saw me in the CBC award nominations. So, guys, here I am. My name is Carrie Quinn. I do a lot of comic stuff. I do a lot of comic reviews. Do a little bit of the other pop culture stuff here and there, primarily on the Wednesday episode that we do, the What's Happening Wednesday that I do with my boyfriend, Bizarro Fat Joe. Um, so, which will be making a return, we hope, this week. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna be ready to talk about something. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Even if we don't do what we had originally planned to do, we'll talk about something, just so you guys have something um, to hear from us on Wednesday. He has been recently out of town, just got back into town, so um, yeah. Anyways, Um, so check out the CBC Awards. Last night I uploaded a review of Faith from Valiant Comics, Faith Volume 1, Hollywood and Vine. I This is my first experience with Faith and I am really loving that character um for many reasons. So I also last night started reading the next volume of her adventures, and I'm eating it up like cake with really yummy cream cheese icing on it. I'm loving it. Thank you very much. And if you don't know, Alien Books has recently done a kind of a collaboration of sorts with Valiant Comics. If you recall, Valiant Comics in recent history had some problems involving publishing and paying creators and what have you. And now Alien Books is coming in saying, hey, um, we're going to help out with this and we're going to help out with all that stuff. Alien Books, if I'm understanding correctly, is responsible for a lot of distribution overseas of comic books. So, yes, um, it looks like there are plans to have more Faith content, little by little here and there. They're going to be continuing with the Exo Manowar series that they started recently, which then kind of stopped, but now it's going to be starting again soon. So that's going to be really cool. That I think right now, if we get more Faith, I have now become obsessed with Faith and finding out more about her and reading more of her. So maybe we'll get some more Faith content besides what's already been talked about and planned. So we'll keep a lookout out for that, and definitely you will be hearing from me about it when it happens. Believe me, because I'm invested now, guys. I'm invested now. But anyways, um, yeah. So check out the CBC Awards. Check out our other programming. If you're new to the channel here, check out our other programming that has nothing to do with comics or very little to do with comics. We do touch on some pop culture stuff here and there. Um, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. But the just to like put it down to you, it seems like the majority of what I do around here has to do with comic books. So in comic book reviews, whether new or old, that's pretty much why I'm here. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, anyways, guys, let's get this rolling. Let's do this thing, and let's talk about comic books. Um, so everything that we talked about just now, to check it out and down in the description below, and definitely vote for me for best unknown channel. Let's get into the comic books. First off, we're gonna just give you an idea. Not only are we spoilertastic, but you want to make sure because we're spoilertastic. I basically say that as a blanket statement if you're new to the channel with my reviews, particularly my weekly reviews. Um, One, they come out on Sunday, and so hopefully you've had plenty of chances to read your comics. If not, go ahead and if you care about spoilers, pause this video, come back to us later. I won't mind, and you will not mind either. If you don't care about spoilers, obviously you're in the right place. I'm going to talk about these comics. I put it the blanket of spoiler-tastic across the board. I'm not gonna. That doesn't mean I'm going to tell you everything, but I'm going to tell you anything that I think is poignant to my review of the book. So that's why I put that standard across the board. Um, I might say something that's a bit spoilery if it has any relevance to my review. So I start with just all the comics in general, and then I'm going to highlight my top 3 comics for the week. I'll let you know when we get into those. Now on with it. Okay, so first book we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Dawn of DC, Poison Ivy number 14 by Wilson, Takara, and Parenteau. Um, this is a welcome um, re up of the storyline that was started before the Night Terrors situation, which actually, to be honest with you, the Poison Ivy issues with the Night Terrors, if you weren't reading any of the tie-ins while they were happening, um, because you're just kind of, I want to stick with the main story, that's cool. Um, but I'm going to tell you, like, the stories for Night Terrors, the 2 tie-ins for Poison Ivy were mm, awesome. I really liked them. That first issue of 2 really reminded me of I'm a 90s person, 90s music person, so maybe some of you know Soundgarden, the video for Black Hole Sun. It totally made me think of Black Hole Sun's video. So if that entices you anymore, believe me, it's worth it. But anyway, so where we left off with Poison Ivy is Poison Ivy has decided that she needs the house on the swamp, and she when she got there, this is a couple issues back when she got there, she realized that Killer Croc was taking up residence because his home was having problems as well due to Poison Ivy wanted the swamp so that she can kind of live not off the grid, but kind of out of the immediate reaches of the Bat family, and just wanted to chill and do her own thing. She wanted a place to just, like a she shed, where she could just go and not have to deal with everything else in the world. And when she got there to this little shack that she knew of, um, like I said, Croc was there, and Croc was like, no, here's the deal. I normally hang out in the sewers, but this new development thing has got things kind of running amok here. Um, so if you want to not, if you want this, if you want this shack, I could really use your help trying to figure out how to stop that from happening. This whole building gentrification kind of situation that's messing with his home. And she's like, you know what? I really want the swamp, so I'm in, you son of a bitch, right? So that's where we were before night terrors happened. So at this juncture in time, we're jumping back into that story as it was. Poison Ivy is kind of investigating the area of this building. She sends. She's in the building. Okay, so check this out. She's in the building, and I gotta tell you that what happens here is the most exciting thing in the world. And I gotta tell you, this is definitely a fantasy book because she calls up, and it's for this particular reason. She calls up Janet from HR, which is a character in Poison Ivy's book, if you're not familiar. One of these characters that when she was doing her, screw the world tour, um, she actually saved this person because of the resemblance and the personality that reminded her of Harley when she's away from Harley. So um, this is a story that this is a character that kind of gets brought up in way back, like I think it was last year or the year before, the 80th anniversary issue, the 80th anniversary villains issue. Okay, where they kind of just not necessarily 80th anniversary because Poison Ivy hasn't been around for 80 years, but it was just kind of an encompassing villains anniversary issue where if a villain had a major anniversary that year, they were including them in this little um, square bound anthology issue. And it was basically the Poison Ivy story was a preamble, a prologue to what we had to come involving this standalone Poison Ivy story started by G. Willie Wilson a while back that has now been made an ongoing because of how popular it is. Congratulations on that. Um, but that's where Janet from HR comes from. Janet is you first hear about Janet from HR in that story because she's blonde and reminds her a little bit of Harley Quinn. In fact, that is something that's talked about in the text of that story. But Janet is somebody that's been kind of her you know sidekick through a lot of this, and even coming back to Gotham, Janet is still with her even though she's now been reunited with Harley Quinn, Janet's still around and still doing sidekick type, like things, right? So the most amazing part of all of this and why I know that this is fantasy, folks, besides the fact that it's a comic book and yeah, but anyways, this is why we could classify Poison Ivy as fantasy, folks, because Poison Ivy is literally just in this building that's being built and being worked on, and she's in these offices of the company that is doing this building, right? And she calls up Janet from HR, and technically at this point, Janet from HR is basically the person that ends up applying and becoming um, getting jobs with these companies to help Ivy out. And literally, Poison Ivy has not left the building. she calls Janet and she's like, Janet, try to get a job with this company. And Janet's like, man, okay, fine. I'll go try to do this. Um, she literally gets an interview in person with this company in the time that Poison Ivy is still in the fucking building. Okay? So she literally applies, gets the interview, goes through the process of the initial interview based on her resume. And Poison Ivy hasn't even left the building yet. Man, this is the most amazing human resources in the fictional world, or I don't know what. Because, come on, if you've ever looked for a job, you're sitting there, you're putting in your resume for a job opening. You're doing all that jazz, and y'all, you have to wait. You have to wait at least a few days for them to even see your resume, for them to even think of your resume, and for them to even contact you maybe a few days more. This is the most, this is definitely fiction because this is the most over the top efficient HR system for applying and interviewing for a job that I could ever think of. It's not possible, y'all. It's not possible. But anyways, in the course of Poison Ivy still roaming around the building, gets an interview with this team, and because Poison Ivy wants her to get close to the CEO to find out more information, but she's able to get more information about them, and so that's something that's happening there. But let's get back to Poison Ivy. She's kind of walking around this building. She comes across somebody that is been poisoned, and there's like a little flower there, and so she checks it out, and the person is obviously dead. And she's like, well, this is weird. This is different than what I normally do. And she smells the flower. She's like, the flower's not poisoned. So she's trying to figure out at this point what the deal is with this. And she's going through the building. The building's all like weird and stuff. And we have a little bit of a teaser, a cliffhanger at the end where she kind of comes and counters someone that's probably causing the problem, um, involving how this person that she came across is getting poisoned and what have you. So we don't know really much about what's going on there. Another point of fun that I wanted to mention was the moment where Batman decides that he wants to try to counsel. Oh God, Batman just kind of drops out of nowhere, and he decides he wants to cancel Janet from HR and tell her that she's making a mistake being involved with Poison Ivy, and Janet's like, "Who the hell are you to tell me what to do?" And she literally pummels Batman with her purse and then runs away. I love Janet. Janet from HR. We raised the coffee mug today in honor of Janet from HR. As Poison Ivy says, she chose her friends and literally has enough, enough guts to try to pummel Batman in over the head with her purse. There's some interactions with Harley and Janet, but those seem kind of like we don't really understand much about what's going on there except for we know Janet from HR has affection for Poison Ivy, and we know Harley obviously is Poison Ivy's girlfriend, so we don't know. Gonna have to wait and see how that develops, but um, yeah, she just pummels Batman with her purse, and Batman's like, "Really?" and runs from Batman. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's so much fun. Anyways, guys, that has been a great series, and it's been a lot of fun to read that Poison Ivy series. I definitely recommend it. But the next one we're talking about is a new book that's coming out. This is Fire and Ice: Welcome to Smallville, issue one by Starr, Boostros, and Bon Villain. I scored the Jen Bartel variant. Um, yes, I paid an extra dollar for the Jen Bartel variant because I'm about ready to show you guys. It is gorgeous. Look at this. Look at this gorgeous beautifulness right here. Look at it. Look at it. It's gorgeous. Okay, so entertaining book. Getting the so basically the premise here is not a lot to say really on this one in particular, except that it's very pretty. Um, a lot of fun book where you have these two friends that I guess because of something that happened in the Power Girl special have been told, hey, why don't you come to Smallville and relax and do your thing and chill. And Ice is all on board with this. Fire, on the other hand, wants to continue doing business as usual and challenging people to come fight her in Smallville. And when she does this, she's using social media to do so. Ice and Fire are more so Ice is trying to reopen the beauty salon in the area, and they've got a stylist and everything. She's trying to just relax, like Superman, who suggested they go to Smallville in the first place, is trying to tell them. She's trying to take his advice, and it's she wants to do it, but Fire is not so not so keen on the whole idea, and yeah, so we'll have to see where that goes. But it was a fun read, fun book, and I liked it very much. Good start to the series. I believe it's going to be a mini series, probably a 6 issue mini series. Yeah. But anyways, guys, next one we're going to talk about. We're going to take a detour away from DC, and we're going to talk about Marvel. Scarlet Witch #8. I am continuing to love the Scarlet Witch. If you haven't been reading Scarlet Witch is a lot of fun. Not um, not a snore at all. It's been fun. Steve Orlando. Let's give you that team. Steve Orlando, Cometa, Pacelli, and William on this book. And I love this. And yes, that is not a tease. Mr. Loki does show up in this book. Um, Scarlet Witch is continuing her process of having her store, her metaphysical magic store with the Door of Last Resort. Now, if you're not familiar with Scarlet Witch as it's been happening right now, the Door of Last Resort is kind of like her way of trying to atone for some of the not so great things that she's done in her past. And if you are without, um, a, if you're without, if you're in a situation where you have nowhere to turn, you're at your last wit's end involving it. The next door you go through might be her door of last resort, where she helps you. Um, and right, and this story is she is hanging out with the clone of her father, the clone of Magneto, um, and they go off and they help a one of the giants gets Loki to allow him to kind of represent his own his own people. And there's this really great interaction between the Scarlet Witch and Loki, where they have a lot of mutual respect for each other, for good reason, and they have a tell the truth off. So who can tell the most truth and just allow someone to just be like, okay, you know what, whatever, you win. And that exchange that happens for a number of pages was just so lovely. I liked it so much where they're having this exchange in Loki's throne room, right? And out the door is Joseph, the clone of Magneto, fighting some monster. And he's just like giving it his all out there, and Scarlet Witch is in there having a flirty little tell the truth fest with Loki. Um I it's so I'm really enjoying this book, and there is a whole kind of over arc thing that's there teased that Scarlet Witch is not aware of, that's going to have implications later, I'm sure. Um, that's it's really keeping me reading this book because I like that it's one of these things where it's like she has this great power. She's now trying to atone for what she's done by offering help to anyone that comes through her door. Um, the also um, the inclusion of Darcy. Um, I love the character of Darcy. She's played in the Thor movies and um, in the Scarlet Witch series, WandaVision, um, by Kat Dennings. And I love Kat Dennings. Thank you very much. She's awesome. Awesome actress. I like practically anything I've seen her in. And she plays Darcy. And anytime that I read Darcy in here, like I kind of read it with Kat Dennings' voice, and it's really cute and fun. But anyways, guys, we are at the point where we are gonna start talking the top three books of the week. Now, pre- I've been pretty positive this week, guys, and this is just how it is this week. There's not a lot of negativity to talk about. I had a really good time reading my comics this week that I had to read. So, I just this is a video of positivity. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk about the next book. We're going to talk about the new Birds of Prey issue number 1. I got the cover A because we got the cool team shot here. Um, this is Kelly Thompson, Romero, and Belair. Welcome to this. This cover is done by the artist team of the interior. That's Leonardo Romero and Jordi Belair. Jordi Belair, who I believe just won. Let me double check that. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Just won an award, actually. This is. Let me. No, 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 no. That is not what I was going to do. All right, hold on. We're gonna take a look now. Yes, Jordi Belair just won the Ringo Award for Best Colorist. Um, And yeah, so that's congratulations, Jordi Belair. I doubt Jordi Belair will see me talking about their book, but in case they happen to come upon this, congratulations on getting the Ringo Award, Jordi Belair. Um, but this is the first issue of the new Birds of Prey team, written by Kelly Thompson, known for a lot of stuff. There was a Hawkeye series. She was also the one that wrote the Gem and Holograms series. Um, so, woo! Um, so basically, what we've got going on here is this is an issue that's going to, if you're looking to read this within continuity, put this aside for now because this takes place after the sixth issue of Green Arrow. If you're not caring about that like me, you can go ahead and read this because it gives an idea of how Green Arrow's six-issue miniseries is going to turn out. But we've got Birds of Prey here. We've got Black Canary, who has been who has a situation where she needs a team of badass ladies, and she has been warned to not let Barbara get involved, and she's got to go and she's got to save. You end up finding out throughout the issue the reason why she needs these ladies is a very personal one for her, but we'll get to that in a minute. Um, so they go and she gets Cassandra Cain. Cassandra Cain goes and gets Big Barda. They go and they get Zealot. And they get Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn. So they're resistant to get Harley Quinn in the first place, but they're like, but Cassandra's like, Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn. You want Harley Quinn for this kind of thing. And the team is like, yeah, you want Harley Quinn. And so Black Canary is a little bit like not very much into the idea. When they go to find Harley, Harley's like, if you're not going to be nice to me, I'm not going to help you. Life is too short for this crap. And so then it gets out exactly why she wants to do this team and what she has to go get. And it turns out her sister Sin is in trouble and she needs the team together to go get her sister. And Harley is aware of her sister. Harley likes her sister, and Harley's like, you know what? She's a good kid, and I'm in, you son of a bitch. You know. Um, so the team has been developed, and now they are going to go do their thing. Stand out moments in the book. Obviously, I just mentioned them inviting Harley to be a part of the group. Cassandra Cain going to talk to Big Barda and helping Big Barda out in the middle of a fight. And Big Barda's reaction and calling her a little bat and all that. It was so, I loved it. I had forgotten, the appeal of Big Barda. So that's a lot of fun. Check it out. Like I said, if you are waiting to see how Green Arrow turns out, maybe wait on this. Buy it so that we can buy it, put it aside, wait and see how Green Arrow ends, and then you can come back to it. I'm urging you guys because these are female led. I'm urging you, if you can, deal with that, deal with the cost. Go grab this book, even if you're not ready to read it, because you're waiting to see how Green Arrow turns out. Um, because we need to make sure the sales on this book, because it's actually pretty good. It's got a good team, a good writer, good team, good artistry, and a lot of fun. It's gonna possibly be there. Let's just lay it out here. They're gonna lead a team into Themyscira because apparently somewhere is sin being held in Themyscira. I don't know what that's gonna entail yet. I'm in though because that sounds so freaking weird that sometimes the extreme makes an impression. So, do with that what you want. Let's talk next about the Justice Society of America number 6. Jeff Johns, Santucci, and Placentica. This cover by Mike Janin. Um, Mike Janin's been doing some wonderful covers lately. Um, Mikkel Janin has been doing some wonderful covers lately, and this is no exception. So we have the continuation of the story. Um, Helena Wayne, the huntress of the future, is stuck in the past, trying to help out the all the JSAs across the across all timeline. Um, Not be eliminated by a time traveling asshole, Degaton. And they have presumably defeated Degaton. And now they're dealing with the repercussions of that. We have Stargirl bringing in the lost children sidekicks and them starting to kind of reintegrate back into their worlds. Um, and then you have the whole situation with Batman knowing that Helena Wayne is his daughter and putting her up in an apartment near the JSA to try and figure out what's wrong, to kind of keep her away from the situation of Gotham, to see what they can do about making sure that they don't prevent her from existing in the first place. So they're working on that too. They're trying to work out, everything involving kind of the aftermath and the unanswered questions, as I think Mr. Terrific puts it, um, about what they do from here. So I'm really enjoying the series, really enjoying this book. Want to see what happens. And one thing in particular that I want to mention that I want to um, give attention to is the fact that things are starting to connect a lot better in the DC universe. Um, we had a time period where it was just kind of like things might connect, things might not connect. And if they do, they great. If they don't, well, then it's all its own world, which is confusing for a reader, especially if they're looking for a connective universe. Now, there was a mention in here involving the last book that I'm going to talk to you guys about. Um, Helena is telling her father a little bit of a, well, something's about to happen between you and mom. So if you are unaware about what's about to happen between Catwoman, who is Helena's mom, Selena Kyle, and Batman, I urge you to look to my last book of the evening, which is Batman number 137, Legacy, title number 902. This is the second part of the Gotham War. We had Gotham War Battle Lines come out the end of last month. This is Gotham War Part 2. This is Zdarsky, Jimenez, and Mori. This is cover is Jorge Jimenez and Mori. And welcome back, Jorge Jimenez, to the Batman book. We've missed you. You are amazing. Good sir. Thank you. Nobody draws Batman the way you do. At this time in age, nobody draws Batman the way you do. Um, so we have where we started out last week. Selena has cut crime a whole bunch by putting together her own kind of system of crime in Gotham, where she has particular rules and she trains people in how to do what they need to do and become kind of freelancers. And with that, you have crime is like really down. And what happens is in the ending of Night Terrors, Batman kind of goes into like a 2 month coma, y'all. And in that time, crime is down 75%. 75% because all the former henchmen of like all the different, crime bosses in Gotham are now working freelance with Catwoman. This is another raise that mug to Catwoman. Raise that mug moment. We salute you, Catwoman, for doing what Batman couldn't do, which is something she says to him. And ooh, dog it, that does not help the situation. But the Bat family, with the exception of one, um, is kind of like, she's right. She's right. Crime is down and everything like that, and we're gonna let this be. We're gonna let this run its course and see what happens, because this is actually doing a good thing here, and it's kind of controlled crime, and everybody in the Bat family sees it that way except for Bruce and Damien. Now the problem is that Bruce has kind of gone through a lot lately. Batman has kind of gone through a lot lately. You have the whole, fail-safe thing. He's being kind of possessed by Zur-En-Arrh, um, and that's continuing at this point. Zur-En-Arrh is in his head, messing with him. You have um, the whole fail-safe thing. You have the whole, Selena going to jail because she killed the guy that was also her lover that tried to kill Batman. She killed him. You have that whole situation going on. You have the Batman of Gotham situation where he gets thrust into a different universe and has to find his way back. Um, and in that process, he loses his hand. He now has, I mentioned, like Luke Skywalker hand, um, that was given to him by another universe's Batman particular. I believe, if I remember correctly, from issue number 900, that issue was how we got him back. And that one, the one that gives him the mechanical hand, I believe, is the Dark Knight Returns universe Batman, the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman with Carrie Kelly's Robin and all that. So I believe, if I remember correctly, from Batman number 900, that's who gave him the hand, um, and then sent him on his way. Um, he gets back right, and he's got a lot of mm, stuff going on. Like, he needs some good therapy, possibly some medication. I don't want to put that on him. I'm not a therapist. I am not a psychiatrist, but he needs to talk to someone. Okay, like, if this were the real world, somebody needs to get Batman to talk to somebody. Um, yeah, because even, oh my god, like, even right after the whole Batman of Gotham thing, then you got night terrors, right? You had night terrors happens, and then he's in a coma for 2 months, and then, like, oop, I'm awake now. Let's go put on the cowl and go running around, and then he finds out all this stuff is going on. He hasn't dealt with any of it. And you've got the Zur-En-Arrh in his head, egging him on and that kind of thing, and yeah, the only member of the Bat family that's with him is Damien, because Damien loves his father and wants to make this work with him. Um, but you have members of the Bat family. Tim Drake comes in and saves Jason. For reals. For reals. Tim Drake swoops in and saves Jason. And guys, I gotta tell you, I talked about the Poison Ivy um, tie-ins to Night Terrors earlier in this show, but I'm gonna also tell you, um, you get a free moment, you maybe get a wherever, or maybe it's sitting there and you decided not to read it. The Robins tie-in, 2-issue tie-in to Night Terrors is also one that's very interesting. It centers around Tim Drake and Jason Todd, and the effects of what happened in that whole entire situation have affected possibly their relationship for a very long time in a positive manner. And it was I very much enjoyed what happened in those issues. So, um, but we have Batman basically against everyone. This is throwdown time. Batman against everyone. And Jason has taken um, particularly uh, um, a particular interest in furthering Selena's process, furthering Selena's affairs, and the rest of the Bat family are kind of like agreeing with Selena, and Bruce has got some problems right now. Um, so we'll have to see how this works out. Um, so much fun reading this. I'm having more fun than I thought I would reading these 2 issues that have started out the Gotham War, and it's that whole question is like, how much does crime affect society, and how does it affect society? Um, so yeah. got that going on. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. That's all I have for you this week. We'll be back next week, obviously, with the Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about the comics. If you have anything to add to what I've say, start the discussion. Comment down below and let me know what you thought of the books that I read, and let me know. Um, yeah, let me know what you thought about the books. Maybe I'm not reading something. Let me know about it in the comments that you think I would like. And as always, please, until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. Remember, the complacent never make a difference. And this is the officially unofficial Geek channel. My name is Carrie Quinn, and I'll be seeing ya. Bye bye.